We would like to begin with a moment of reflection to remember all the family members, friends, and loved ones who could not be with us today. Thank you. Please remain standing for the singing of the Star-Spangled Banner, performed by Chloe McCandless, followed by the singing of the Ridgewood High School alma mater, performed by Joseph Austria, Lauren McCandless, John Mondi, and Ashley Orr.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
There are so many high schools that are loyal, strong, and true, standing for their colors and for their honor too. But we have a fairer high school for which we will fight. Proud are we enrolled to be beneath maroon and white. Once again our alma mater raise our song on high. Tradition of excellence will win the fight with pride, forever holding to our standard proudly, loyally we'll try to brighten the fame and never put to shame the glory of Ridgewood High.
Thank you. Please be seated. Good evening. Welcome to the 125th Ridgewood High School Annual Commencement. I'm the Class of 2020 President, Eddie O'Keefe. We would like to welcome our family and friends, Superintendent Dr. Fishbein, Board of Education trustees, administrators, faculty and staff, and distinguished guests to the Class of 2020 graduation ceremony. And a special thank you goes out to all the friends and family who are joining us virtually and in person for such a momentous occasion. I would like to introduce Ridgewood High School's principal, Dr. Gorman, with the presentation of the senior class.
Thank you, Eddie. Unbelievable, huh? This is the class of resiliency. You had COVID to deal with, governor executive orders, and then you had the weather to top it all off. But we made it, so welcome. Welcome to the class of 2020 graduation ceremony. I'd like to thank the Board of Education, Dr. Fishbein, administrators, and distinguished guests for making this evening possible. I especially want to thank the faculty and staff from all the district schools for everything they have done throughout the years, and particularly Mr. Pizzuto, the class of 2020 grade advisor, who has helped guide these seniors throughout their journey. I specifically want to acknowledge the retirement of 5 high school faculty members: Chuck Johnson, Laura Fleming, Marianne Schmitz, Snooki Palulak, and Sheila Borchers, who have collectively devoted 148 years of service helping educate students. Finally, I'd like to recognize some of the most important people in the audience. Normally, they would be sitting here in the bleachers and standing along the fences, but today they are cheering you on from homes all around the world. Will the class of 2020 please rise and thank your parents, grandparents, relatives, and friends for their love, support, sacrifices, and guidance to help you get you to this moment today. Thank you. Be seated. Today we truly face an unprecedented time and challenging circumstances. It is a crucible moment, which Will Krieger defined as an extremely challenging or transformative experience through which an individual comes to a new or an altered sense of identity, a time when our character is tested, and a time of adversity when great strength is shown. Though this moment is unique, this is not the first time that Ridgewood High School seniors have found themselves facing adversity. The wall of honor across from the cafeteria lists the names of students who served and lost their lives in every war since World War I. I'm reminded of the profound sacrifices they and their families made when our country called. Similarly, our students today have been asked to make sacrifices too, albeit in a different sense. Sacrifices are painful, but when we make them in the hope that a better future will come. Transitions, like adversity, are a part of life, and you seniors have succeeded in managing through each one that you have encountered. During your second week in Ridgewood High School, I asked you in our first 9th grade class meeting whether you were ready for high school. Tentatively, several hands went up, and I assured you that life was all about transitions, and each of you would be ready for the next step. Yes, it was a little scary, but every time you transitioned, you were prepared for the next challenges that you would face. During your high school career, you were challenged in your academic classes and persevered. You struggled to learn your music pieces, play lines, or artistic techniques, and shined. And you met formidable opponents on the field or court and triumphed. Richard Rohr said, "It seems that only when what we are used to is taken away from us that we awaken to new possibilities, even if they were there and available all along." We are all in uncharted territory right now, and a new reality is emerging. But this new reality also comes with new possibilities. And that is true of every challenge or every transition. While most of you know what college you'll be attending, businesses you'll be exploring, or military service that you'll be joining, You do not necessarily know your exact major, jobs you will be performing, or what adversity you'll be confronted with during the next few years and beyond. In fact, the latest research shows that you'll have on average 11 different jobs in your lifetime, and 4 of them have not been invented yet. These jobs and destinations are quickly changing before your eyes, but they are also creating opportunities. While you cannot control events that happen to you, you can control your response. When you confront these events and challenges in a positive way, you can decide the outcome, which will affect your life and the life of those around you. During this pandemic, many of you have challenged yourselves. You took advantage of this time and demonstrated resiliency by sacrificing for the greater good. Reflected upon what is truly important in life and valued time with friends and family. Expressed compassion and empathy by helping others in need, and found gratitude in the small and simple things in life through peace in the quiet. Now, as you move to an uncertain time and an uncertain future, you will not know every challenge that lies ahead, but you built a strong foundation that will help you be ready for these challenges, and part of the foundation is the people who surround you. As you have journeyed through school and life, you have never walked alone. Your parents, teachers, and friends have been right there beside you. They have nurtured you, taught you, and stood next to you so that you will be successful, and this moment in time is no different. As you continue your journey and you are confronted with new adversities, do not forget all those talks with your family at the dining room table. Remember the advice your teachers gave you. Reflect upon the support your coach shared, and apply that critique from a mentor for a better outcome. You must draw upon your experiences, lessons, and even failures to guide you to the correct response. These will determine your outcome, your future. Ridgewood High School is known for its tradition of excellence. This motto reflects more than a learned academic content, whether in the classroom or virtually. Its excellence derives from the solidarity of the students, faculty, staff, and community during difficult times. The culture of kindness, gratitude, and love for others. The relationships students nurture among their friends, and the connections created every day among students and teachers. The final lesson this crisis has taught us all is that high school is about more than learning content. It's about the social interactions with friends and relationships forged with the faculty. Bonds that are strengthened through these interactions and stay with students and teachers for the rest of our lives. This is a difficult time because of social distancing rules and lack of in-person human connectivity. But every student needs to know that every faculty and staff member at RHS deeply cares for you and is available for you whenever you need. We know that you seniors are ready to overcome this current challenge and whatever adversity your future holds. Congratulations, class of 2020, on today's terrific accomplishment. It is now my pleasure to introduce the Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Fishbein.
Thank you, Dr. Gorman. Graduation is truly one of the highlights of my year, and no matter how many classes of graduates I stand before, the excitement and joy of this day never diminishes. This year, I have the pleasure of addressing you, the seniors, the class of 2020. While your families and the Ridgewood community can't be with you here at Ridgewood High School with this glorious backdrop of the building, nevertheless, this graduation will hopefully still hold the same significance to each of us. Together, we are celebrating one of life's momentous landmarks, and you, the class of 2020, like other classes before you, have faced extraordinary circumstances through a pandemic and a call to action for true equality. You will be remembered for your resilience, your fortitude, and your voice on much-needed change in the fabric of our society. Graduation is a time to celebrate a significant achievement in your young lives, to recognize hard work, commitment, and determination, and all the determination it took to get here. It is important to pause and reflect on the challenges you faced and the sacrifices you made due to COVID-19 global health crisis. And if one crisis wasn't enough, you were challenged with yet another turning point of our nation. You witnessed the outrage of seeing George Floyd killed all over your screens and stepped forward to demand change in a respectful manner. Hold on to that passion and will to fight for what is right and just. You want to be a part of the discussion and the outcomes. Your high school experiences, however, is not defined by the events of the past 3 months. Instead, they will become part of the collection of large and small moments that began as your freshman orientation and continued through the last day of remote learning. Now it is time to focus on each and every moment you had at Ridgewood High School, the wonderful, the difficult, the ordinary, that all mattered. Friends of mine who live in Chicago recently sent me an article by Barry Evans titled, "A Time for Perspective." The author himself received it from a friend, didn't know the origin. As I read the article, I immediately thought of my grandparents, who would be the same as your great-great-great-grandparents. That may sound like a long time ago, but it isn't. My grandfather was born in the late 1800s. He fought in World War I in Europe. He was a courier to the front lines, from the front lines to the rear, where all the high-ranking officers were located. 22 million lives were lost in that war. In 1918, the flu epidemic devastated the world, lasting 2 years, resulting in 50 million deaths. 10 years later, my grandfather and his brothers, who then owned a successful fur refrigeration company in New York, lost their fortune in the Depression. A decade later, this generation was faced with yet another world war, taking millions and millions of lives. During his lifetime, the world also experienced the Korean War and the Vietnam War, as well as the riots of the 60s, and the intense fear of nuclear exchange with the Soviet Union. My pop and other grandparents really never discussed the historical ups and downs that occurred in their lives. It is only now that I have the perspective of what they endured. Despite all this hardship and tragedy, my grandfather, a wounded World War I soldier and once a rich furrier, passed away a happy man as a simple tailor working out of my aunt's house. This historical timeline is not meant to belittle what you have confronted this spring. You are experiencing the development of your historical timeline. You were all born around 9/11. You have never gone on a plane without being searched. You have seen terrorism and, unfortunately, school shootings reported live on television. Yet, you have also witnessed the election of the first black president and the pleasure of never having to get up off the couch to change a channel or be tethered to a wall for your telephone. As I said, your historical timeline is just starting. I don't want you to walk away from Ridgewood High School with any disappointment or bitterness. Rather, I want you to use what you've learned during this experience to make positive impact in your future. We have all been affected by COVID-19 pandemic and the civil protests following many unnecessary deaths. And it has shed light on some of the blemishes and unjust treatment that are part of our society. It has also brought about generosity, camaraderie, patience, and a call to self-reflect in all of us. This experience has demonstrated that we need people like you to become educators, because schooling has just changed forever. We need people like you to work in food security so we don't have food shortages or see hunger during severe emergencies or even during our everyday to-day life. We need people like you in medicine to work on equitable, innovative, and flexible health care. We need people like you to build supply chains that are adaptable and can expand and retract when necessary. We need people like you in the field of technology to develop new, cost-effective technology that has access for all. We need people like you to learn from what we have experienced and help others as they help you. We need you to push us all to truly make our community and society equitable. Please don't let what you missed this year define you. Be defined by the lessons learned, make the world better for the next generation. The question you must ask yourself is, how will these historical events that I thankfully lived through define my generation? Parents and guardians, the educators here in the Ridgewood Public Schools are as heartfelt about this year's courageous graduates as you are. Your children are like our children. While you can't see your seniors sitting in the stadium in their beautiful outfits right now, I know you're beaming as you watch them online. We are also beaming. Your children's teachers, mentors, coaches, directors, and administrators have been with your children through good times, rough times, and now a pandemic. They have also been together through victories and defeats, performances, trips, discussions, tests, and now remote learning. Today, we share your joy over their academic successes, having followed them in their pursuits and watched them grow into mature young women who are ready to enter the larger world. To the class of 2020, you are ready to face the next challenges, even the ones that have been thrust upon you. This year has been one of last times. The last time you played a sport at Ridgewood High School, the last performance, the last art show, the last exam. You can fill in the blank. Each of those experiences and the current health and civil crisis have helped to shape you as the person you are today and prepare you for the road ahead. You are about to receive a diploma from one of the best public school systems in the country. I wish you much deserved future success as you work towards your independence and embark on a new journey beyond Ridgewood High School. I also want to thank the entire Ridgewood community for their support of the Ridgewood Public Schools. As superintendent, I certify to the community that the students before you have met the rigorous Ridgewood and State of New Jersey requirements for graduation. Congratulations, class of 2020.
I would now like to introduce Mr. Michael Lembo, President of the Board of Education.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Gorman, Dr. Fishbein, distinguished guests, all the parents, friends, and family that are watching online, and especially good evening, class of 2020. My name is Michael Lembo. I am the Ridgewood Board of Education President. I'm going to make my comments brief tonight because I'm pretty sure the last person you want to hear from is the Board of Education President. But 23 years ago, I actually sat in the same seats that you're sitting in now as a proud soon-to-be graduate of Ridgewood High School. I kind of know what you're feeling right now. Some of you are heading off to college, vocational school, the military in the coming months. A lot of you probably don't know where you want to be sitting in 23 years. I know I sure didn't. I'm going to give you some quick, honest advice for the coming future. You are strong. You are the only class that had seen a complete shutdown of your school and your world. You had to learn and be taught from a Chromebook and your parents. You had to quickly adapt to this, but that's how life is. You never know what's going to happen next. You are all prepared, though. Just make sure you make that leap. Take chances, make mistakes, try new things. In a world when we can sit around, scroll on our phones endlessly, be someone that gets up and does something. Make new friends, but remember us here in Ridgewood always. You are now all going to be ambassadors of that tradition of excellence. Go forth and make a positive impact upon the world. I'm so proud and so happy that we're all together today. I look forward to seeing everybody around town, and who knows, in 23 years, maybe one of you can be up here giving the speech. Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. Lembo. Tonight, we have two guests who are retiring from Ridgewood High School. Laura Fleming retires as a Ridgewood High School graduate and an Ashby Award winner and 37 years of service to the district. Ms. Fleming is a beloved figure to both staff and students, acting as a World, U.S., and AP European history teacher. These assignments have allowed her to interact with students at the high school at all grade and ability levels. Over the years, she enjoyed advising a series of political and social action co-curricular clubs, and most recently, she functioned as a Ridgewood High School point person for the popular annual History B and Bowl event, a now national and international series of competitions founded by one of Ms. Fleming's former students. Ms. Fleming's breadth and depth of content knowledge is only surpassed by her compassion and empathy for others. She embodies all the qualities of a true teaching professional, and her presence in the social studies department at Ridgewood High School will greatly be missed. The other person in attendance tonight is Chuck Johnson. He'll be retiring from a distinguished career for 46 years as an educator, 36 of which were at Ridgewood High School. Coach Johnson is a Ridgewood High School graduate and a former three-sport athlete. During his years at Ridgewood High School as a teacher and a head football coach, Coach Johnson helped create a world-class wellness department and a stellar football program. In the classroom and on the field, Coach Johnson sought to bring out each student's best selves in terms of their personal wellness. His devotion to helping students could be seen in multiple ways. And whether it was as a wellness teacher, football coach, or caring community member, his office door was always open. One of Coach Johnson's favorite sayings comes from his supervisor, former supervisor, David Marsh, who said, "At Ridgewood High School, we don't teach sports to the ball. We teach students about life through the ball." For anyone who has ever taken the time to observe him coach, they can tell you that he lives this quote on a daily basis. It is through this calling that he encourages, motivates, and mentors students, holds them accountable, and most importantly, bonds with them. We thank you, Coach, for your commitment to excellence as an educator. And we thank Laura and Chuck for all they have done to continue the tradition of excellence at Ridgewood High School. Congratulations.
All right. I would like to introduce Jeffrey Deese, the President of Student Congress for the class of 2020.
American poet Ralph Waldo Emerson once wrote, "Do not go where the path may lead. Go instead where there is no path and leave a trail." Graduation for all of us here has always been a definite point in our path from childhood to adulthood. We have anticipated this since elementary school. Yet the recent pandemic has complicated this time in our lives. Many of us have been upset and confused about life after high school. Although recent circumstances have made our paths unclear, the Ridgewood High School class of 2020 is amazingly equipped to make its own trails throughout life. In this trying time, we have proven ourselves to be adaptable. We showcase a diverse range of interests, ideas, and talents. Ridgewood students are creative, whether they're new players, a cappella singers, or the artists participating in Artbeat. Ridgewood students are outspoken. There are not many schools that have organized both a walkout and a sit-in over the issue of school safety. And of course, Ridgewood High School students are competitive. Throughout these 4 years, we have witnessed debaters win the Harvard Invitational Tournament, watched the girls' cross-country team go to nationals, and celebrated as the football and baseball teams took home state wins. We will all go on to pursue different goals. Some of us will jump headfirst into prestigious universities to conduct research. Some of us will continue playing sports throughout college. Some of us won't go to college at all, preferring to join the military, pursue a career in music, or travel the world. Now, as much as I want to continue making grandiose statements about our futures, we should remember that this is a time to celebrate. Celebrate all the unbelievably fun moments that made up our RHS experience. I knew from the day my dad drove me to freshman cross-country practice, seeing about 20 BF kids I didn't know, I was in for an unforgettable experience. For as long as I live, I won't forget Chef Dave's outstanding lunch cooking. I won't forget the poorly organized karaoke sessions during lunch. I won't forget the rush of chanting and screaming as the football team made an amazing comeback at MetLife. None of this would be possible without the wonderful people in the RHS community. On behalf of the class of 2020, I want to say thank you. Thank you to all of the teachers providing us with an engaging learning environment. Thank you to the counselors willing to talk to us when things just aren't going well. Thank you to all of the administrators making sure things run smoothly. Thank you to the custodians, cafeteria workers, and nurses that make RHS a clean and healthy environment. And of course, thank you parents for making our lunches, driving us to school and back, and paying high property taxes so we can attend RHS. Finally, I want to thank the class of 2020. Every single one of us contributes something unique to the RHS family. We are all individual threads in the colorful fabric of Ridgewood's student body. Our hard work has prepared us to be the next generation of leaders, artists, and innovators. There is something bittersweet about leaving this community and going our separate ways. Nevertheless, it is amazing that we can make this transition into adulthood together. All the friends you have today have been with you through the good times and the bad. They care about you more than you could ever understand. We should all be grateful for our experiences at RHS. I think I speak for the entire class of 2020 when I say that I'm proud to be a Ridgewood High School graduate. Thank you. I would like to welcome back Eddie O'Keefe, the president of the class of 2020.
Welcome to the Ridgewood High School class of 2020, to our family and friends, and to the members of the extended RHS community. This ceremony marks the conclusion of RHS's 128th year. Class of 2020, we have history on our side. For over a century, RHS graduates have made their mark on the world through a great variety of challenges: wars, depressions, pandemics, and movements for social change. In each case, rising to the challenges that their unique moment in history presented. We are no exception, but we can feel confident that our experiences here in Ridgewood leave us well prepared to face our world with intelligence and good character. Thank you to the RHS administration and community for providing this class with the tools we need to do so, and for working to make this graduation happen. The class of 2020 is fortunate to have such a supportive community. It has been 117 days since our last day of high school. It feels like it's been forever. And while the COVID-19 quarantine has changed our world, we are still the amazing class of 2020. And I know that our experiences as a class will always shine brightly in our memory. Every single senior in the audience had their own uniquely memorable RHS experience. If you asked everyone what the best part of high school was, you would likely get 436 different, yet personally special answers. We all had the chance to come into our own, and we are all very different people than the freshmen that walked in those doors. But the thing that really makes us a class is that we went through all of those changes together. Looking back, it's easy to remember the big moments: athletic championships, dances, tournaments, and to think that it is the big moments that defined our class. But really, our day-to-day lives as a class formed the core of our shared experience. We grew up together, and that makes us a family. When we walked into school on March 13th, we had no idea that it was the end. It was just another normal day. Try to remember it. You probably had a test, a club meeting, studied in the learning commons, got a muffin from the caf, ate lunch with friends, or walked into town. We were all blissfully unaware, untouched, and oblivious. We aren't anymore. The abrupt end to our high school career was a shock, but it was very valuable in that we have learned, like few classes before us, that what is routine is not ordinary and should not be taken for granted. As the weeks passed, so many of us would have given anything to wake up early if it meant that we would have had another day in school together. But separation has drawn us closer, and that is its own gift. While in social isolation, Zoom chats, FaceTimes, parking lot meetups, and social distance hangouts kept us connected. Quarantine gave us a chance to realize how valuable our relationships with peers, underclassmen, administrators, and teachers are to us. So we held those relationships close, and we will continue to do so as we all move on in our lives. The legacy of our class is that we understand that it is relationships, connections, and people that make RHS the place that it is. We can feel that we are a family, that we draw strength from one another, that we missed each other this spring and will miss each other next year. We know and understand that truth in a way no other class ever could. But nothing ever ends if you don't want it to. As we move on from today in different directions, stay connected like we have during quarantine. Say thank you to a favorite teacher. Give guidance to an underclassman. Introduce yourself to a peer you haven't met, or reach out to someone you lost touch with. Let's show that for everything we may have missed, we have gained something else, the knowledge and experience necessary to maintain the relationships that have made our time here so special. So congratulations to Ridgewood's class of 2020. Here's to many more years of community. I would now like to introduce Dr. Anita Shrivastava, the president of the Women's Club of Ridgewood, who will announce the students who will receive recognition for academic excellence.
Dear honored board members, members of the administration, proud parents, siblings, guests who are watching, and most importantly, the reason we're here, the graduates of the class of 2020. It's with great pleasure I, Anita Shrivastava, am representing the Women's Club of Ridgewood. We can't imagine how strange life has been for you these past few months, but what I'd like to say is, don't let a few months of quarantine, lockdown, and now this weather overshadow all that you have accomplished these past 4 years. What now I'd like to do is, here we are, call, I'm sorry.
Just keep going.
Sure. Thank you. The certificates of academic excellence are presented by the Women's Club of Ridgewood to those students who ranked highest in the class by maintaining a straight A average for 4 years in their academic courses. Please stand when I call your name. Guests are asked to please hold their applause until all the names have been read and the students are standing. And again, I apologize in advance if I mispronounce any of the names. I never get offended when anyone does mine. Jong Yoon An, Catherine Bamberg, Walter Jonah Bach, Michelle Bombassi, Jack Kim Christinger, Natasha Sigona, Jeremy Grunat, Handley Ridley, Olivia Jurdy, Choon Jae Lee, Hunter Maskin, Annabelle Mendoza, Joseph McCallie, Theodore Andrew Mall, Edward O'Keefe, Dylan Park, Eugene Park, Luca Richmond, Alexandra Savage, Ethan Sterling, Thiessen Jason, Ellie Wienhoff, Momoka Yanagihara, Brad Yuan, Bayu Zhao. And lastly, regarding your upcoming plans, future endeavors, I hope that all of you, whatever the certainty may be, uncertainty, still reach for the stars. Thank you and congratulations again.
Thank you. The Irwin B. Somerville Awards. Irwin B. Somerville, who served as principal of Ridgewood High School from 1915 through 1931, encouraged good citizenship and inspired the youth of this community to value the importance of education. Each year, 2 students based on scholastic record, leadership activities, and leadership in improving the school are selected through a process that involves input from the students, faculty members, and alumni. This year's Irwin B. Somerville Award recipients are Annabelle Mendoza and Edward O'Keefe. Please come to the dais.
I would like to introduce the Ridgewood High School Alumni Association Board President, Ms. Tara Augustine, class of 1990, with a message from the Ridgewood Alumni Association.
As the outgoing president of the Alumni Association, I have the distinct honor to be the first to officially welcome you all to the Alumni Club. We did our very best to recognize each and every one of you with the graduation banners throughout town. The Alumni Association felt it was extremely important that we honor each of you during these unprecedented times. I'm sorry that this ceremony might not be exactly the one you pictured in your mind, and I'm equally, probably a bit more so, pained for your parents who sacrifice much, often with what feels sometimes like limited return, to not be able to be here in person. So I thought we could just do a quick little thing. I wanted all the kids to just think of a single defining moment in your high school career that influenced you so significantly by your mom, your dad, your grandparent. And I'd love for parents to think about your moment when you pat yourself on the back, not the moment that you wanted to redo the day, but the moment that you felt like you really hit it out of the park. And later, when you come together, ask each other what your shared moment was. Compare your stories, talk about it, have your own experience and your own memory that COVID cannot influence. Because here's the thing. You can view this day and say that COVID-19 messed it up a bit, or you can view this day and say that you've lived through COVID-19 and that you've adapted. And your adaptability will pay off 10 times, I promise you. More than any A on a test, more than any brand college that you're going to, or what job you're embarking on. Your adaptability will be the very thing that will catapult you to excellence as you make every choice moving forward. It's funny, the word excellence. We know it's so subjective, but that's the beauty of it, because excellence is exactly what you make it. And Ridgewood, it does have a tradition of excellence. Some will agree with that, some will disagree, because we seem to be in an impasse on lots of things these days as a society. But to me, the proof is in the pudding. We are one of the few high schools that has an alumni association, and to our core, we have it because we believe in the promotion of excellence in our community. And that tradition is, in fact, rich. So I'd love to just look at that rich tradition real quick. And in keeping with the past, can I ask any student who has a parent, a grandparent, aunt, uncle who attended Ridgewood High School to please stand as a legacy student. Stand up. I know you're out there. Yeah. There are many, and that is a testimony to the school and the community we live in. And now, if every classmate could stand up, please. We have a little tradition that we do every year. Everyone stand up. And if you could turn and face the high school. I just want you to take it in and have just your own moment and think about when you displayed your own excellence, because you have fulfilled the challenging requirement of an RHS diploma, and you should feel extremely proud. This is one of the truly momentous occasions in your life, and there is nothing that can take that away from you. Okay, you can turn and sit back down. And so it goes. Your high school years are squarely behind you, but your future is unwritten. I hope each and every one of you pen a great narrative and that you create your own excellence in each forward action taken. And as I always like to say, if you struggle on that path, which we are all bound to do, I hope you take away the realization that RHS and its community will always be here for you, no matter how near or how far your life's journey takes you. Be active, continue to enrich the collective experiences unique to the RHS community. They have strengthened our tradition of excellence and adaptability, and I hope you will do the same for those to follow. Thank you, and again, welcome to the Alumni Association.
Thank you, Tara. Appreciate that. All right, we're going to ask the singers of Brave to please come forward. It's going to be Alexandra Ebert, Avery Fogg, Miranda McKeon to move to the microphone, please.
As though you're pushing me away. voices, 'cause we can't be sure if we're hearing our own voices as we close the door, even though we are so desperate to stay. If this is the moment I stand here on my own, if this is my rite of passage that somehow leads me home, I might be afraid, but it's my turn to be brave. And I might still cry, I might still bleed, I might still thorn in my side, this heart on my sleeve, and lightning may strike this ground at my feet, and I might still crash, but I still believe this is the moment I stand here all alone, with everything I have inside, everything I own. I might be afraid, but it's my turn to be brave. If this is the last time before we say goodbye, at least it's the first day of the rest of my life. I can't be afraid, 'cause it's my turn to be brave.
Excellent, thank you. All right, all the formalities are out of the way. Will all the administrators please assume your positions? They're going to be walking right down here, guys. Yep, right down the middle. First row. First row people, you're going to keep coming down all the way down. Ladies, keep coming down. Slide her all the way up. Bring her all the way up to Dr. Fishbein. All right. Susan Brielle Hunter Leaf. Andrew Hardigan. You're going down single file. We didn't get to practice this week. Follow the line. Follow the line. And then go. All right. Hey, that's the hardest one. Everybody else just has to follow now. All right. Faith Gardner. Ronit Bhatia. Faith, just keep going. Yep. Just go. Let's go. You guys are not meeting up. All right, just once again for the seniors, you're not going to meet up like we traditionally do. As soon as I call your name, you just keep walking and go back to your seat. And then your partner will go right after you. It's not going to be like in years past. All right. Julia Bibick, Aaron Garcia. Anna Goto. Bawu Cho. Grace Elizabeth Mabley. William Keeney. Sophia O'Hara. Nathan Kim. Jessica O'Hara. Cameron Lothian. Carson Collins. Haruya Otaki. Sofia Gutierrez. Day Yu. Ann Nishida. Joseph Austria. Lizzie Weston. Phil Bird. Molly Getz. Daniel Skulski. Alexis Vetnoy. Miles Gabay. And then we're just going to catch up because one person didn't show up. Luke Anthony Trevison. Nico Blauvelt. Nico, go. All right. Peyton McCarthy. Joseph Businelli. Olivia Murphy. Stephen Cheng. Eugene Park. David Diaz. Amanda Plass. Max Gieselman. Karina Rosenberg. Alex Kim. Kayleen Bracken. CJ Lee. Elida Demirta. Maxwell Levy. Kayleen Etzolt. Jake Mazzo. Natalie Idorino Francesco. Ethan McPherson. Isabella Guerrero. Joseph Lewis McCallie. Stephanie Brianna Haas. Kai Sho Marai. Claire Ann Harris. Kaio Okamara. Allison Kirk. James Cerventi. Alina Levin. Michael Joseph Simone. Stefania Nevin. Maxwell Gavin Gregorio. Yeji Park. Walter Jonah Bach. Caroline Grace Rojas. Edmund Chung. Jacqueline Schmidt. Alexander Peter Abremko. Nola Sheehan. Tai-Suk An. Angelina Torrell. Aiden Ban. Nicoletta Venizelos. Michael Businelli. Sarah Wallachy. Maxwell Adam Cardy. Omoka Yanagihara. Tomas Carlson. Lauren Lee. Jack Christener. Abigail Anderson. Julio Contreras. Sophia Bergantino. Cameron Doyle. Kira Boucher. James Ellinghouse. Naya Camacho. Ryan Gormley. Olivia Noel Cha. Aiden Francis Kunzel. Sarah Clay. Jack Brendan Malone. Grace Cowie. Patrick Owen Mannion. Brenna Daniels. Michael Monroe. Lauren Jean DeCaro. Christopher Nikias. Taylor Donovan. Luke Ottersted. Emily Erdl. Rishi Patel. Madeline Yule. Alessandro Prieto. Ali Fernandez. Cole Sherman. Isabel Peyton Friedman. William Sofka. Mary Catherine Greiger. Daniel Son. Rachel Sophia Kenny. Dylan Andrew Strafacci. Sophia Mikhedlishvili. Jason Charles Tyson. Rhiannon Ortiz. Jeff Yang. Anna Ostro. Hoon-hee Ryan Rue. Sarah Pilson. Yichang Wan. Ashley Plass. Fahad Ahmed Balach. Carly Catherine Santangelo. Taylor Bonnerbick. Elizabeth Schultz. John Beanie. Brianna Elizabeth Spataro. Martin Carmona. Majumi Tamara. Kevin William Collier. Bridget Taylor. Aiden Reese Daspin. Nayum Park. Jeffrey Deese. Allison Nicole Yim. Brennan Donahue. Keely Maria Bennett. Omar Eid. Christy Chang. Alex Hua. Amelia Chen. Daniel Lerner. Vanessa Cheng. Patrick Joseph Littner. Jennifer Koshiari. Hunter Maskin. Delia Mackenzie Donnellan. James Meelan. Alexandra Mary Ebert. Armin Moslem. Jennifer Fala. Christopher Joseph Nozzolo. Maeve Goodman. Edward Patrick O'Keefe. Ainsley Goot. Cole Patel. Megan Grasso. Marco Pettigrew. Morgan Hoffman. Jordan Rarick. Sophie Howard. Luca Richmond. Catherine Hugh. Brian Maid Seaver. Trisha Kant. Quinn Stott. Irene Kay. Derek Sullivan. Eliza Kessler. Henry Sun. Christy Kim. Alexander Testa. Megan Kukulka. Lawrence Tianco. Caitlin Levine. Aiden Logan. Alexandra Liu. Stephen William Pfeiffer. Emily McCarthy. Jaden Freeman. Miranda McKeon. Frank Joseph Orlando. Claire Naidu. Alec Toner. Sophie Nolan. Brian Bainey. Caitlin O'Hara. Cameron Blair. Grace Lee Sales. Adam Bach. Aiko Shinazi. Samuel Burgoyne. Ilana Olivia Whitaker. Yoon Jae Choi. Sarah Afromsky. Matthew Curtis. Talar Ajemian. Reed Kenneth D'Arienzo. Peyton Cameron Angus. Ben Donahue. Ali Bloom. Alexander Fernandez. Caroline Nicole Correll. George Thomas Hadfield. Annabella DeAngelis. Gregory Harrison. Juliana Marie Einemer. Christopher Miklos Henny. Dorina Grossano. Donovan Joseph. Isabella LeBeau. Austin Karat. Kerry Marusic. Albert Ligori. Emma Matthews. William Maserani. Jessica MacArthur. Patrick Mancini. Emma Norman. Joseph Marioni. Allison Olson. Rudy Narayan. Alexandra Savage. Cyrus Nuseri. Ella Sokol. Dylan Nuri Park. Colette Stevenson. John Patterson. Yaroslav Saravov. Luz Van Schindel. Peter Joseph Sanchez. Laura Westcott. Gabriel Santiago. Katrina Elizabeth Abrenko. Kyle David Shattuck. Usha Betalou. Zi Cheng Shen. Jacqueline Karapetian. Brian Scatini. Andrea Kuberovic. Liam Tarleton. Vanessa Grace D'Angelo. Joseph Wisnowski. Avery Elizabeth Fogg. Maxwell Derek Wheeler. Brooke Fortunato. Noah Wood. Margaret Hoyer. Daniel Slavetsky. Livia Janjigian. Bayu Zhao. Priyanka Lal. Brenda Joseph Sherman. Jessica Laney. Leonardo Tomas Gregorio. Hayin Lee. Jacob Andrews. Cassandra Rose Lewing. Matthew Briganti. Catherine Maxwell. Terrence Jun. Simran Rodno. Jackson Cox. Remy Christina Riccardi. John Davis Flusci. Campbell Romano. Matthew Gluckow. Leanna Rudin. Jonathan Holland Jensen. Elisa Marie Soma. Sam Kang. Dylan Cirillo. Baba Lee. Caroline Michelle Taylor. John Mondi. Ellie Sapaceris. Jared Powers. Chase Saudi, Tony Wilkins. Zachary Rippis. Sarah Zhang. Elijah Rodriguez. Madison Nall. Mason Howard Sklar. Lucy Karsmarski. Ethan Sterling. Jordan Afromsky. James Wedd. Catherine Ann Bamberg. David Yang. Maya Ben-Hur. Jack Nunone. Michelle Bombase. Mason Zimboldi. Natasha Chiconia. Oliver Jones. Carly Kumba. Matthew Byrne. Sophia DeBruin. Hunter Klaas Hoglid. Jamie Dwahi. Justin Ace. Isabel Engelhardt. Logan Trevor Abrondo. Ridley Hanley. Jung Yun Tony An. Elise Higgins. Benjamin Brodeur. Emerson Klein. Ryan James Schmiel. Lee McKenna. Kieran Corcoran. Sophia Millardi. William Doherty. Reagan Nielsen. Dylan Ferguson. Koshi Patel. John Fleming. Nicole Petrick. Gregory Michael Fry. Amelia Safai. Sean Goda. Sarah Saunders. Kwame Grant. Jennifer Grace Shredder. Matthew Hoffman. Lillian Seifert. Devin Johnson. Anna Michelle Soderlund. John Carney. Chelsea Salas Silva. Maxim Matiasevic. Mary McDade. Theodore Mall. Brooke Auerbach. Thomas Lancaster Montgomery. Caroline McCormick. Andrew Olivo. Addison Richards Audette. Ruben Pillai. Nora Donnelly. Michael Rigo. Allison Helen Doyle. Harrison Roberts. Isabel Hoy. Colin Roach. Olivia Jurdy. Evan Albert Rosenfeld. Haley Lynn Klein. Jem Patrick Spicer. Nicole Jean Kai. John Whitmack. Emily Marr. Harrison Wallace. Annabelle Mendoza. Isaiah Elijah Walters. Caitlin Peterson. Brendan Powers. Megan McGovern Rosenall. Thomas Bork. Ellie Veenhoff. Benjamin Crossley. Jane McKinley. Henry James Dosher. Chloe Abadi. Matthew Faviari. Sarah Ellinghouse. Alex Gifford. Sarah Eppley. Nicholas Hoy. Kaylee Ann Kerner. To Min Kam. Chloe Montplaisir. Andrew David Messinio. Fiona Muller. Jesse Michael Milstein. Jessica Nikolich. Luke Notero. Violet Olivia Nids. Nicholas Santangelo. Ashley Orr. Aiden Michael Sheridan. Annika Romano. Brad Ewan. Josephine Seifert. Gabrielle Martinez. Hollis Cisco. Kobe Ellenbogen. Sarah Vanden Afson. Don Patrick Joseph. Madison Yergalonis Perez. Matt Leluc. Morgan Elizabeth Dunnican. Peter McKenna. Jennifer Lynn Kirkpatrick. Jack Meyer. Juliana Evelyn Lucky. Lucas Sharma. Brooke McKenna. Richard Thailander III. Bridget Ward. Caleb John Walsh. Caroline Walsh. Sean Choi. Chloe McCandless. Siddharth Palalu. Lauren McCandless. Arthur Dunn. Everest Galbraith. Robert Gassaway. James Miller. Tristan Winston. Cole Ponder. And Holden Von Sommer. Will all the students please put your masks back on? Graduates, please stand. Congratulations, class of 2020. You are now graduates of Ridgewood High School. Thank you. You may be seated. And I'd like the senior ensemble. The senior ensemble is going to be performing The Parting Glass.
All the money that's e'er I spent it in good company, and all the harm that e'er I've done, alas, it was to none but me. And all I've done for want of wit to memory now I can't recall. So fill to me the parting glass. Good night, and joy be with you all. Oh, all the comrades that e'er I've had are sorry for my going away, and all the sweethearts that e'er I've had would wish me one more day to stay. But since it falls unto my lot that I should rise and you should not, I'll gently rise and I'll softly call. Good night, and joy be with you all. Good night, and joy be with you all.
Thank you for joining us in celebrating this milestone with the class of 2020. Students will proceed to the parking lot to pick up their yearbooks and diplomas that will be on their chairs in the parking lot, and then please return home to celebrate with your families. We're going to exit out the same way you came in, at the end of the rows, going first, so you can just stay seated until we go in that whole order. Dignitaries, here we go. Congratulations. We're extremely proud of you.